Monika Bellucci to miała na sobie.
There's no leaks of oil.
Dobra, ale...
Welcome to my crib.
You look great.
I was born and raised in Milan.
Kto z nas nie marzy o wyprawie w duchu idei Grand Tour, pełnej historii, kultury, niezwykłych smaków i spotkań z wielką sztuką? Nazywam się Anna Ganczarek-Rał i klasyczną Alfą Romeo Spider zabieram Was w autorską podróż po boskim torze wyścigowym, jaki stanowią drogi Italii. Odwiedzimy najbardziej elitarne wydarzenia samochodowe na świecie, zajrzymy za kulisy niedostępnych miejsc i poznamy ludzi, którzy tworzą i opisują współczesne Włochy. Andiamo. Program napędza Pirelli.
Don't
I
worry.
don't want to see you
Don't
anymore.
worry.
It's the last time we see each other. When
So
it's
now
over-
there's no leaks of oil from the
Okay.
engine.
Mediolan jest stolicą mody, designu oraz najważniejszym ośrodkiem finansowo-gospodarczym we Włoszech. Miasto przepełnione jest kulturą i z sukcesem łączy styl i historię. Mediolan jest stolicą Lombardii oraz drugim co do wielkości miastem we Włoszech. Rokrocznie przyciąga miliony turystów, a mediolańskie atrakcje, takie jak muzea i zabytki, należą do światowej czołówki. Ale to jedno wielkie tourist trap i w mojej opinii miasto nie należy do najłatwiejszych do zwiedzania. Ej, widziałeś, jak jest wyżłobione? To trzeba w jakąś konkretną stronę? Wszyscy mieli ten sam pomysł. Dobra, chrzanie to. Mediolan to coś znacznie więcej niż słynna katedra i witryny sklepowe. To miasto, w które trzeba się zdecydowanie mocniej zagłębić. No dobra, ale jak już tutaj jesteśmy, to powiedzmy, że to jest jedna z największych katedr na świecie. Duomo może pomieścić ponad 40 000 ludzi. Została wybudowana w XIV wieku, aczkolwiek fasada została ukończona na początku XIX wieku, już za czasów Napoleona.
Mediolan, który chciałabym Wam pokazać, jest bardziej surrealistyczny. Tutaj, na przykład w centrum miasta, w prywatnej willi Invernizi, niedaleko Porta Wenecja, mieszka kolonia flamingów. W małżeństwie Invernizi, na marginesie producentów serków topionych, mąż uwielbiał sielskie życie pośród zieleni, natomiast jego żona wolała miejski klimat. Spotkali się gdzieś w połowie, w egzotycznym ogrodzie. Nasz dzień zaczynamy od śniadania u samego mistrza filmowej fantazji.
Wes Anderson słynie głównie ze swoich surrealistycznych i mocno wystylizowanych filmów, ale w sercu Mediolanu znajduje się również kawiarnia, którą zaprojektował specjalnie dla Fondazione Prada. Bar Luce łączy klimat klasycznej włoskiej kawiarni z lat 50. i 60. z filmową estetyką reżysera. Mamy tutaj pastelowe dodatki, retro szafę grającą, flipery oraz przepiękny ekspres z Fema. Wes Anderson chciał stworzyć miejsce, w którym sam będzie chciał spędzać czas. Nie na planie filmowym, ale w rzeczywistości.
Kawiarnia mieści się w jednym z bez wątpienia najciekawszych miejsc w Mediolanie. Fondazione Prada to architektoniczna ikona miasta. Dawna destylarnia przekształcona w nowoczesny kompleks kultury przez biuro OMA pod kierunkiem Rema Koolhaasa. Zabytkowe zabudowania zestawione są tu z nowoczesnymi strukturami, surowy beton kontrastuje ze złotem i szkłem, tworząc wyjątkową przestrzeń. Instytucja została założona w 1993 roku, a jej główna siedziba w Mediolanie odzwierciedla multidyscyplinarne podejście fundacji, która realizuje projekty z zakresu sztuki współczesnej, kina, badań naukowych oraz działań na styku kultury i filozofii. Czas na zmianę atmosfery, ale nadal pozostajemy w sferze nierealnych doznań. Tuż obok Mediolanu znajduje się najszybszy tor w kalendarzu F1 – Monza! Jestem tu, żeby testować opony nowej generacji Pirelli P05. Mam tu okazję poprowadzić pierwszy raz w życiu super precyzyjne Porsche GT3 RS. To jest jakiś kosmos, to jest już prawdziwa wyścigówka, tylko taka zaawansowana, w której nigdy wcześniej nie siedziałam. Surowa, agresywna, bezkompromisowa, czułam tor całym ciałem. Jadę sobie nią 236 km/h po Moncy. Potem w roli pasażera siadam na prawym fotelu Pagani Utopia Roadster. Emocje nie do opisania, a rozmowa z jego twórcą, Horacio Paganim, to spełnienie marzenia każdego fana motoryzacji. Myślicie, że to koniec? Nope! Teraz jedziemy do Bellagio nad jeziorem Como trochę popływać. Wracamy do miasta. Tym razem wybieramy się na historyczną Brerę. To dzielnica mediolańskiej Bohemy. To tu znajduje się Akademia Sztuk Pięknych i znana na całym świecie Pinakoteka Brera. Pełno tu dziedzińców, starych zakładów rzemieślniczych, warsztatów złotniczych, antykwariatów, mamy też rzeźbę Mitoraja i wiele przyjemnych miejsc na popołudniowe aperitivo.
A na koniec dnia poszliśmy na ostatnią wieczerzę. Siedzimy pod Santa Maria della Grazie. Tutaj w środku znajduje się ostatnia wieczerza Leonardo da Vinci.
Do jutra!
W Mediolanie mamy bardzo dużo zaplanowanych spotkań i atrakcji, dlatego lepiej być na czas, więc jesteśmy pod najwłaściwszym adresem. Hello!
Oh, dzień dobry!
Dzień dobry!
Welcome to my crib.
Hello!
Aspetta.
Oh, hello, good to see you. How are you?
Good? How
Is
about
it
you?
your birthday today?
Yeah.
Happy birthday!
Yeah, thank you. You are my gift. You're just missing the
Okay.
ribbon on top.
Thank you. Can you tell me more about the brand?
Yeah, of course. We started the company in 2015, and this is a little bit of the archive of everything we did during these
okay.
almost 10
So,
years.
is it the first
Yeah,
watch?
I start from here. This is the U1A, Modello 1, and then it develops in this fashion. And as you can see, from the very beginning, a lot of things happened, thanks to a number of collabs. So
what was the starting concept?
it was to get a lot of reference and the state of art of a diving watch, that was the Modello 1, and put it in a tumbler and dry out everything that wasn't necessary. Let's say, trying to blend the good sides of having a vintage watch with the good side of having a brand new watch in the same product at fair pricing. And then the same went on when we did the Modello 2, the Modello 3, the Modello 4, and lastly the Modello 5 that you have on here.
You're very present in a car culture, I would say.
Thank you very much. I mean, it's funny because this developed by itself, like many other things in our little company. The collectors of Unimatic are all of them our friends.
Yeah.
And
They're
many,
getting more and more popular in Poland right now. I have to say they're very popular.
I don't know, but thank you very much. Now, among those people that like Unimatic, we found ourselves with a lot of guys that like car. and they like car in a very eclectic way.
Are you living in Milan?
Yes, I'm living in this neighborhood, the Cinque Vie, and here I have the house, the showroom in which we are, and the flagship store, and this is where all the magic happens.
And what is your favorite spot?
Oh, my favorite spot, there are so many, but let's say that if you want to go and have a drink, you can go to Flow in Piazza Borromeo, to my friend Jack Savio, and of course the flagship store in Via San Giovanni sul Molo.
Ah. Christoph, hello! Welcome to my crib. Hello. How are you? Hi.
Hello, I'm Christophe Duchesne. I'm a car designer for Borromeo Silva, and I'm also the chief bike inspector for Tuttobene.
We are in Milan. You're living here for 6 years already.
Yep.
You're working here. Why you choose this place, this city?
So, like I mentioned earlier, with the racing, I quite quickly realized that becoming a professional was a difficult path.
Give me a high five.
Yeah. I started to orient myself to become a car designer. So I did a bachelor in industrial design in Canada, where I'm from. And then after that, was able to make the move to Italy to do a master in car design. I have always wanted to work in kind of the coach building, smaller volume niche car, which is very Italian. We have Zagato, Touring, us, Borromeo de Silva. So it made sense to be close from where everything was happening. And also with Villa d'Est, and at that time you had a lot of things kind of happening or starting to happen around Milan and northern Italy in car culture in general. And it just felt like it was a bit of the place to be if I wanted to be around that specific kind of industry, and that's why I came.
Czas na lunch! Krzysztof ku naszemu zaskoczeniu wybiera toskańską restaurację swoich znajomych.
Solo ghiaccio e 3 bruschette.
Nie mamy mu tego za złe. Pasta i mięso były wyśmienite i serdecznie polecam Wam to miejsce.
Cheers. Thank you for the lunch.
Pleasure.
How you discovered this place?
Through Giovanni and with a few friends in common. Then I got to know the son of the owner and the whole family, and it's in the neighborhood, so I just kept coming back. And now they're very, very good friends, so it's a go-to. I'm there almost every week, I would say.
Who's that? Welcome to Borromeo de Silva. Come with me. This is my messy office. It's a big open-air portfolio to kind of take it all in as one image. So as you can see, a lot of cars, of course, but some products.
But also a fridge from Smeg.
A fridge from Smeg, which is right there behind it, and that was actually our very first product.
You can tell us some things about the objects because they're really interesting here.
Say no more.
Yes, exactly. Okay.
I love weird stuff, like these, for example, are weights that were used to balance the propellers on planes. It's really important for us also while working on our projects to be constantly inspired by taking ideas from other fields and bringing them into the automotive world. That's what makes interesting restaurants.
Yes, and I think surrounded yourself with beautiful objects that can inspire you also helps.
Yes, and to keep it messy, you know, like this is not meant to be one of those studios where everything is there for a reason. I kind of let it happen and put everything together, and then it sorts itself out.
I saw it on Villa d'Este.
We actually did this livery for them. We developed their whole livery system for race cars because they sponsor motorsport. And this was meant to be Ken Block's car. And unfortunately, he had his accidents 3 weeks before he was coming to film in the car.
Oh no.
So it was really kind of for us, it was a peak, you know, to make a car for Ken Block. And we were really sad, and he was like a hero to us. So, yeah, it's a bittersweet memory. That's the Tuttobene helmet. You know, we had this wonderful collaboration with Bell when we started doing Tuttobene last year. And we asked them, you know, we came out and we told them, oh, we're doing this amazing car event. Can you give us 20 free helmets? And they were crazy enough to say yes. So
I was like you with Veyron. I thought I will get one.
you didn't get one?
No.
Oh.
I think no. I think
they
only t-shirts.
they all got stolen. I only have one left.
I must ask about this thingy. It's a lamp now.
It's now a lamp. So this was a canoe. It competed in the Olympic Games actually in the 50s. And it's quite interesting because back then they didn't have plywood. So the whole of it's made of bark of a tree. And there's no glue, it's all nailed. And yeah, I had it as a wedding present from my wife and didn't know where to put it or what to do with it. So we turned it into a lamp. And it works. It was also the only place where it would fit. So yeah, hi, my name is Carlo Borromeo. I'm the creative director at Borromeo de Silva, a design studio based in Milano. I'm lucky to work with a very talented group of people, which I represent. So basically, creative director, it's a strange title. It can mean anything or nothing. I say I'm the voice of a larger group of people that are very good at doing specific things, and I kind of gel them together and help provide some creative guidance to their efforts. Borromeo de Silva Studio, it's a design studio that focuses mainly on automotive. So that's where our culture is based, that's where we come from. Of course, being from Milan, we can help mix in some product design, some branding, some fashion also. These are all facets of the Milanese identity. So I think the added value that we bring to the automotive field is that we're able to cross-pollinate, so to take a little bit from very different fields, and also to provide a link in between the past and the present or the future. So, for example, what I can say kind of made us famous is resto mods. The first one was the Automobiliamos Delta Futurista, then we had the 928 Porsche with Thierry Nardone, and more recently the Eccentrica Diablo. I would say the project that really changed the way we work was definitely the Delta that we developed with Eugenio, because it taught us the importance of storytelling and of creating a product with a cultural value besides the beauty of the object itself. Of the cars we designed, the one that I would want for myself, it's definitely the 928 that we did with Thierry. That's just the way I enjoy cars. The Eccentrica is larger than life. I love it for that.
You've been always an automotive person?
Kind of funny. No, actually, I was sent to study economics in Bocconi University here in Milan. But I really didn't like it. And so I had a passion for cars, but I didn't think that I would ever become a designer. And I was young, you know, I was 18. And for some reason, I had in mind this idea that if you design a car, they would give you one. You know, I kind of took it for granted. You design a car, they must give you one. And so I thought, well, that could be a very cool way to, you know, get some cool cars. And so I remember, like, I left this economics school, and fortunately, an old friend of my family, who was like an uncle for me, and also is the father of my business partner now, at the time was head of design in SEAT. So I asked him, you know, can I come and see how it works as a car designer? And he was like, yeah, sure, come join us for an internship. And so I went there, this was like 2001, 2002. And I became friends with all the designers there. And one was like, so yeah, I'm working on the new Bugatti, which was the Veyron. I'm like, so they're gonna give you one? And he looks at me, it's like, the fuck are you talking about? No. And I had this check-in with reality, but I fell in love with the atmosphere and this kind of attitude of modern day inventors, you know, kind of stylist inventors. And so I went on to study it and then made it my profession.
So you give up economic studies?
Absolutely, I'm very bad with numbers.
Are you from Milan?
I am very much from Milan.
How much?
Very much. No, my family, it's a very old family, traditionally from Milan. So yeah, I think I can quite proudly represent the city. Well, I love it. I used to have a love-hate relationship. The city changed so much through the years, but overall I feel it's a great place. It's really easy to move around from Milan, and there is a very deep culture, and this to me it's fundamental for a city to be interesting, is to have history and you know, their ways. When I walk down the street and I hear people talking in 100 different languages, it makes me extremely proud and happy. And to find out that now it's like one of the most visited cities in Italy, it's interesting how that changes.
Do you think that tourists and people who are coming to Milan have the same and the right view about the city as the locals, as you have? Like, is Milan showing the same face outside as it really is?
Milan changed a lot. So I think the Milan that I have in mind no longer exists. So is it showing its true face now? Yes. It's quite an honest city because what you see is what you get, basically. But is it what it used to be? No, not anymore.
And what are your favorite places?
I love Piazza Fari. It's, I think, one of the most beautiful piazzas in Milano. I love this old part of the town, like Cinque Vie, where we are now. It's deeply historical place. Like, Milan was founded literally like 100 meters from here. That's where the two Roman roads, the Carta and the Cumano, crossed, right there. But I also I'm amazed by the new parts that got added. There's some really weird, quirky places. Like, there's this one called Via Lincoln, which was built in the 19th century, and it looks, all of a sudden you're like in California, you know, like with the little colored houses, and then you go to the beautiful palazzos. So I really enjoyed that about Milan, is the contrast and the juxtaposition of highs and lows. There's a fantastic Taschen book called The Entryways of Milan. I think that speaks volumes about how much inspiration you can find in a city where, you know, you have a random building and the entry has been designed by Joe Ponti. You know? So, on one side it's amazing, on the other side it's quite intimidating because you can get the feeling that all the good stuff has already been done and we're living in the ruins of a greater culture and greater civilization. So.
And can you tell us more about Tuttobene? What is this?
Tuttobene, it's our attempt. When I say our, I mean Borromeo de Silva and Race Service. They create amazing content for motorsport, Formula One, these kind of things, to create a new format of event that fits our view of what car culture should express. We don't like too much the stuffiness of traditional concours, kind of like Villa d'Este. They're great, it's amazing that they exist, but we never feel like they're made for us. We always feel a little bit out of place, and the cars are not moving, and cars are fun when they move. On the other side, motorsport has an aggressive side to it, the competitiveness, that I think it's a bit forced. So we wanted to create something in between those two, so a place where everybody would feel welcome. You can see the cars in movement and you don't have the stress of motorsport. But it takes place in Italy because you already have Goodwood, you know, and this is big, it's huge, it's fantastic. We wanted to do something in Italy. And luckily, my family owns this private road. on a mountain on top of Lago Maggiore. So we have the possibility of closing down a mountain pass, basically. It's 9 kilometers and 63 turns. That's how Tuttobene started. As you know, you've been there. It started really as something for friends. We took it in the most natural way possible, trying to have very little rules and just letting it happen. I think it was a great success. The people that were there really enjoyed it. And so here we are plotting the next event for September.
Good luck with that and see you there.
Thank you. I can't wait to see you there.
Thank you. You look great here.
Hello, hi.
Hello. How are you?
Good, and you? Hello, I'm Federico and I'm the founder of OL Society. OL stands for Overland, so of course I'm a big fan of adventures with 4 wheels and 2 wheels as well. This whole concept of shops, it's for car enthusiasts and bike enthusiasts. We wanted to have like the perfect store for the gentleman driver and gentleman riders all over the world with fine Italian clothing and some brands that you couldn't spot anywhere else in the world. 99% of the brands are made in Italy, so we have my own brand, Formula Iozzi. Iozzi is my surname, of course, a bit egocentric. So you have like motorcycle helmet, DMD, we have South Garage, who's a customizer of bikes and cars, that all have the same target market, which is like car enthusiasts and bike enthusiasts.
And there are many car enthusiasts in Milan?
My God, like so many, and our main target is also the vintage car enthusiasts, so like those gentleman drivers that have like the certain kind of style that are maybe inspired by like, you know, vintage icons such as Steve McQueen and others, but they want to be like more of a modern gentleman. I'm living in Milan. I was born and raised in Milan, so yeah, Milan is part of my culture, and like I don't know if I could live anywhere else than Milan.
And can you describe Milan?
I think Milan is the perfect city to live in. Why? Because it's not too big, it's quite small. I think if you want, you can walk all around Milan. Then I'm a bit lazy, so I always use the car or the motorbike, but usually you can walk everywhere. You can find international people all over. Business is here in Italy. And of course we have like the best restaurants from all over the world, nice spots, bars. And also in 2 hours you're in London with the plane, in 1 hour you're in Paris, 2 hours to go to the seaside or to ski in the Alps, so it's very central in
2
Europe.
hours to Como?
2 hours, well, no, 40 minutes to Como if it's not in the
local.
traffic, yeah. So it's good.
Sunday morning, you take your bike, you take your car.
Yeah.
Where do you want to go?
As I said, like Milan is so central that if I want to take my car or my bike in a sunny day, in 40-50 minutes I'm on Lake Como, so Lake Maggiore too, and you do the Mottarone. And if I want to stay in Milan, like it's super easy. In the morning you can go to Piazza Fari and look at those amazing vintage cars that they always go there on Sunday morning. Otherwise, yeah, I go to via Sottocorno and with my motorbike because finding parking there is a bit difficult. And you go to Giacomo Rosticceria in the garden to have like roast chicken and like some nice food. Is like my favorite spot for lunch. And then, yeah, best ice cream now open just here next to my shop called Vero Gelato. Best ice cream for me, especially in Milan, like chocolate, dark chocolate is the best, so we have a lot of them.
And where is the shop placed?
So the shop is in Corso di Porta Ticinese, one of the most crowded road in Milan, especially during the weekend. It connects the Darsena, Navigli to the Duomo area, so it's just one long street. Now it's pedestrian and only taxis and tram can pass through the city, so it's all to this road, so it's also very nice to walk on a weekend, but there are car parks and motorbike parks just here around the corner. So I would suggest, yeah, it's probably one of my favorite area of Milan, because also it's not very old, it's young, challenging. You have lots of like streetwear brand as well, or like weird shops for art and arty stuff. But the cool part is that OL Society is here, so you have also this amazing shop. Also, this is fun to say, the Circumvallar racing team that we made. So this is the ring around the city center of Milan, and we
really?
imagine it as a circuit. So this is our shop, and every district has a corner, like Parabolica San Babile, district of Brera, Chicane of the Castle, Sant'Ambrogio Sector 3, we have the pit lane, we have like everything.
That's so nice.
Yeah.
Kojarzycie willę z filmu Jestem miłością z Tildą Swinton? Właśnie do niej jadę. Villa Necchi Campiglio to najpiękniejsze dzieło Piera Portalupiego z początku lat 30. XX wieku. Została zbudowana dla rodziny, która uosabiała najnowocześniejszą i najbardziej ożywioną klasę średnią w północnych Włoszech. Przed wojną była jednym z najsłynniejszych włoskich modernistycznych domostw, a wnętrze zdominowało Art Deco w najlepszym wydaniu. Liniowe i szerokie przestrzenie domu zostały zaprojektowane tak, aby pomieścić wielu gości, a wy powinniście być jednymi z nich. W drodze na kolejne spotkanie mijam Bosco Verticale, czyli leśne wieżowce mieszkalne, nowy symbol Mediolanu. Dojechałam do samego serca mediolańskiej dzielnicy Bicocca. To tu od ponad wieku rozwija się przemysłowa historia Pirelli. Jesteśmy w fundacji Pirelli. Już na samym wejściu znajdziemy tutaj słynne czerwone szpilki, które Carl Lewis, amerykański biegacz, założył do tej słynnej kampanii Power is nothing without control. W fundacji znajdziemy również ponad 4 km niesamowitej historii tej 153-letniej firmy. You can't see any logo on the postcard. The logo is on the other side.
Yes.
Who was the inventor of the Pirelli communication?
There's a great attention from the beginning, from collaboration with the artists and designers. After the Second World War, there's some famous intellectuals such as Castellani. It was a director of the communication.
Thermofor.
Hot water bottles.
Amazing.
Yeah. You can see the evolution of our logo. This is the first one, the star, the long P, and many others.
In the historical archive, we have 4 kilometers of documents about the history of Pirelli. We have a room with a scientific and technical library that contains more than 60,000 volumes about the technology of rubber. We have the communication section here with hundreds of drawings and sketches. We have a photographic collection, but also we have a technical part with all the documents about the industrialization and the design of all Pirelli tires over the years. So we have 4 different rooms of the archive.
Fundacja Pirelli została założona w 2008 roku przez firmę i rodzinę Pirelli. Chroni i promuje dziedzictwo marki sięgające 1872 roku. To również historia Italii.
Monika Bellucci to miała na sobie.
Mamy tu najsłynniejsze plakaty, reklamy, zdjęcia kampanii, które przeszły do historii międzynarodowego marketingu. Tak samo jak kalendarz Pirelli, który szokował i łamał ówczesne tabu.
This tire is a tire that was used in a Beijing-Paris motor race, one of the most important international race that was held in 1907. I mean, the tire is a production, but this structure is the origin one from the 1907, made in wood and iron. You can see the wood right here. And you know, there were 6 different teams, and the Italian team was headed up by the Prince Scipione Borghese, who immediately requested Pirelli tires for his car, his powerful Itala, and of course he won the race. He arrived 2 weeks ahead of the runners-up, so big victory. And from this moment, from this tire, Pirelli became famous all over the world for sports competition.
This is an incorporated act for the company in 1872.
This is a Stella Bianca tire made for the Pirelli Collezione. This is a tire made by Pirelli in 1927, but with technologies and materials of today. So our colleagues of the R&D studies this document, the technical test specification, and they made tires for vintage cars. So this is our open space when the exhibition continues. In this room we have selected 4 keywords about Pirelli and also about the sports competition. So we have passion, performance, research and innovation, and teamwork. So we selected photos from our historical archive, but also recent photos that describe these 4 keywords.
Fundacja jest czynna dla odwiedzających, należy się jedynie wcześniej umówić. I uwierzcie mi, warto. Tak jak wspominali moi rozmówcy, w Mediolanie znajdziemy mnóstwo miłośników motoryzacji. Postanowiłam to sprawdzić.
To jest moje pierwsze wydarzenie samochodowe z moim własnym samochodem. Jestem super podekscytowana.
Well, welcome.
To jest Motoring Attitude, czyli spotkania, które odbywają się co środę na placu del Carmine w Mediolanie. Bardzo casualowe. Oh guys!
Yeah, that's me.
Super było spotkać samochodową rodzinę, ale najważniejsze wydarzenie motoryzacyjne ciągle przede mną. Oglądajcie kolejny odcinek.